Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 158 pounds, wearing black trunks with gold trim. His record, 13 victories with 9 defeats, 4 draws, 4 of those victories coming by way of knockout. From Youngstown, Ohio, Danny Feel-Good Hollywood Rosenberger. Introducing out of the red corner, he weighed in at 158.4 pounds. Wearing silver trunks with black trim, his record is perfect. 8 fights, 8 victories, 5 of those victories coming by way of knockout. From Las Vegas, Nevada, the legend lives on, Nico Walsh.
It all started back in Tulsa, his pro debut back in August of 2021. Now here we are at 8-0 for Nico Ali Walsh.
Good clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Dre, I remember when we were back there for Nico's pro debut, we didn't know how long this whole ride was going to go. Was it going to be one fight? Was it going to be a novelty career? He's dedicated himself. He has lived in the gym. He is living the boxing life.
He's dedicated himself. He's paid his dues, and he's still paying them. And I appreciate the fact that even though he's got that name that he carries on the back of his robe and on his trunks, he's realistic about it. He's not saying he's the next greatest ever. He said, I want to see how far this can go. My family loves boxing, and I'm continuing the legacy.
Danny Rosenger, 33-year-old, 13 wins, 9 losses, 4 draws. He's a mover in there.
But Nico Ali Walsh doesn't have a guy sitting directly in front of him. He has a guy that likes to be on his bike, so he's gonna have to cut off the ring. We're gonna learn tonight if that's something he learned during training camp.
That's really what the progression of matchmaking at this stage should be, is various opponents who offer you different learning experiences, right?
Yes, it is. He fought against a guy that liked to throw back in his last fight, a guy that was very active with his offense. This time he's facing a fleet-footed fighter who he has to track and mow down. Oh.
All right, go ahead. Watch your feet, watch your feet.
And that teaching and that learning and that growing starts in the gym, then it translates in the fight where you show what you've been working on and also learn more. Some things can't be learned in the gym, they can only be learned in an actual fight. But I like the steady piston-like jab of Nico right now. And he's not leaning over his feet very much. He doesn't seem to be over anxious, but he's also fighting with a little bit of an urgency.
Let him out, let him out.
First scheduled 8-rounder for Nico. Last couple fights, he's gone the 6-round distance. Here's good work with the jab, tripling it up. As Rosenberger was moving off to his right. Now he closes the gap with a double jab and then sends the right hand to the body.
Rosenberger's a defensive first guy, like Tim said. He's looking to protect himself, and if he happens to see something like right there, he'll sneak in and get a shot through.
And that's what he does, and Ali's right back to the jab.
A little smirk right there from Ali. He felt those punches. 1-2. See, the reason why Ali got hit with those shots is because he sits, he throws, and he admires his work. He keeps his head on the center line. He needs to get his head or roll underneath, because guess what? The opponent will throw where he lasts in your head.
Box.
Coming to end of round number 1, Nico Ali Walsh against Danny Rosenberger.
Getting smashed with the right hand right now.
Walsh, as we count down to the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko. You can just go to ESPNplus.com to purchase the pay-per-view. That gets underway in less than 2 hours now. In that first round, Nico was 12 of 37 on his total punches. Rosenberger just 4 of 24.
But this is the next level of professional boxing. Nico had a good first round, except at the end where his game plan was working. But then his opponent, Rosenberger, switched up started landing right hands. Now let's see if you can make the adjustment.
Bernardo, what are you hearing in the corner of Nico?
Spoke with K. Karoma. He wants more feints, and he wants them to step off the line. And more importantly, when you've got a mover like Rosenberger, aim at the chest.
He's right. You want to aim at the chest and you want to aim at the body. You know, that stab jab works very well against a moving target. And also, instead of throwing at the target, you want to throw where you expect the target to move to. That's another way to cut off and corral your opponent in the ring.
Good sneaky right hand from Rosenberger right there.
He's moving right to set it up, Dre.
But he's doing that to avoid the right hand or to diminish the right hand of Nico Ali Walsh. Can Nico process that and make an adjustment? Adjustments are the next phase.
Adjustments are going to be a huge part of what we detail in the lead up to Haney and Lomachenko. Lomachenko all week long has said the fighter who adjusts first is going to be the fighter who wins. Gets him into the corner that time. Two-punch combination.
Rosenberger has landed and just missed a few right hands. If that right hand lands just right, Nico Ali Walsh may have a problem on his hands.
It's funny because Rosenberger, he's moving left and then he's quickly moving back right, and he's getting Nico to shoot his jab from the wrong range, and then he's countering with his overhand right. There it is.
There's a right hand by Rosenberger, as you two were detailing.
That's what you call a 2-1, where you lead with the right hand and finish with the left hand.
Let him out. Let's go. Break.
Both landed clean.
Step back. Step back.
Nico still haven't learned how to move his head. It's okay to move your head. It's fine. You don't have to leave it in one spot.
Our earliest assessment, I remember, of Nico was that he has a natural right hand. He's a natural right hand thrower. It is the defense that needs to evolve.
Always, always. Defense, defense, defense. I don't matter who you, doesn't matter who you are, what level you're at. Defense is important. That time he caught it. That time he caught it. It was partially blocked.
The face-off after the weigh-in between Devin Haney and Lomachenko, when Devin gave Loma that jarring shove and said the time has come. That was just the start of pushing him back.
Look, listen, I didn't like it. Personally, I didn't like it, but I can just tell you this. It definitely got me intrigued for this fight even more, because I'm curious to see if that ticks off Lomachenko. Lomachenko has to come out quickly in this fight. He cannot fall behind on the scorecard, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Round number 3 here with Ali Walsh and Rosenberger. Dre, when you digest the shove of what Haney did, was it strategic? Was it out of character, impulsive? What was your read on it?
I think it was a hybrid. I think it was a little bit of everything mixed in one. But we got to separate morality and what's right and wrong and understand this is boxing. These guys are literally going to be fighting each other in front of the whole world tonight. They're not happy to be around each other. They got to settle it in the ring tonight.
And they will settle it in the ring on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You can go to the app, click the fight tile, and purchase the pay-per-view. It'll get started at 10 o'clock Eastern. 3 fights on the pay-per-view, included the Undisputed World Championship with Haney and Loma. We also have a World Championship fight coming up at the conclusion of this fight between Ali Walsh and Rosenberger, as Andrew Maloney, the twin brother of Jason Maloney, who won a World Championship last week, is now trying to win another one for the family. He goes up against Junto Nakatani. That is a junior bantamweight world title fight. Nakatani is thought as a rising star. Nakatani has had a world title at 112 pounds. His trainer, Rudy Hernandez, says he's arguably one of the best I've seen at this stage of a career.
Good 2-1 right there from Nico Ali Walsh.
Nice change up in sequence. Instead of throwing the 1 and then the 2, he threw the 2-1. That's the reason why it landed. It was something different. Again, head still on the line, the center line, the firing range. Can't miss it.
Let him out. Let him out.
You can tell Rosenberger had a good camp for this fight. He's had a full 8 weeks, and he's got a game plan. We'll see if his game plan is enough to get his hand raised, but he has a plan, and he's trying to execute.
Remember, 8 rounds scheduled here. Ali Walsh has never gone the 8-round distance. Just caught a short right hand as he crossed that threshold after the jab.
Rosenberger has good feet, and he has good eyes. He can see you loading up for a shot, and he can get out of the way.
Been staying active. His second fight in 85 days. Had a knockout win back in February, Danny Rosenberger did. Coming to the end of round number 3. Joe Tim and Gray back ringside with you. Nico Ali Walsh in against Danny Rosenberger. Round number 4 scheduled for 8 here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. It's interesting in visiting with Nico just about a half an hour ago before we came on the air with this portion of our broadcast. And he was standing right in front of a portrait of his grandfather. So there's a Muhammad Ali portrait in the back near the locker room, maybe only about 10 feet away from where he's gloving up. And he says, well, my whole family, I was here as a kid. My whole family was here. His grandfather's 70th birthday celebration was on this very floor that he's now boxing on at the MGM Grand Garden Arena back in 2012. It was nationally televised by ABC. It was a star-studded event. And here he is, 11 years later, fighting as a pro on a major pay-per-view card.
Pretty crazy.
Isn't it?
Storybook type stuff.
The man he called Poppy, the guy the rest of us just called the GOAT, Muhammad Ali.
Ali Walsh having a little bit better round, more consistency, less offense from Rosenberger. But Rosenberger in the corner, in between rounds, seemed very comfortable, and he and his team seemed and sounded like they have everything under control. And they have no pressure, Team Rosenberger, to do anything but put up a good fight. Of course, they want to win, but when you're facing a young fighter like this with a name and all the hype behind him, faring the way that he's been faring in this fight so far is almost like a win. Let's see if he can go beyond that and try to get the win.
Really committing to the body work here in the middle of round
with
number
both
4.
hands.
That's great work. That's great work, and that's how you slow a fighter down. But I could just tell you this.
That's the adjustment we were talking about.
Yes, it was. But also, the movement of Rosenberger. It's harder to move and be cute inside the ring than it is to fight the way Nico is fighting and coming forward. It finally caught up with him.
The one adjustment, the body work, allowed Nico to start landing more shots to the head, but it also slowed up and discouraged Rosenberger, even though he just threw a big right hand right there.
But look at how things have changed. As the mouthpiece came out there on that jab by Ali, the body work has clearly changed the tenor of this fight, and it allowed him to get a right hand up upstairs.
It's a game in a sport of adjustments and inches. And we saw one adjustment start to change how this fight was viewed and how it was.
Mike Ortega is the third man inside the ropes. The referee is going to take the pause with the ball in the action to replace the mouthpiece. Speaking of guys who come from great boxing bloodlines, the referee, Michael Ortega, the son of Gaspar Ortega, a great fighter back in the late 60s. That's how the mouthpiece came out.
It's a dangerous right hand that keeps missing Nico Ali Walsh. It's got power on it. It's looping. It can go over around your peripheral vision where you cannot see it. And if it lands in the right spot, it can chop down on that chin or that temple and it can hurt you.
Step back. Box.
Going to take a really short break. When we come back, we'll detail that right hand of Nico Ali.
This right hand from Rosenberger has landed, and like we mentioned last round, has just missed, but he's timed it right there. He allowed Nico Ali Walsh to throw a lazy jab. That's a good straight right there to the side of the temple. And here he countered with a right hand right there against Ali Walsh.
What this is defensive deficiencies right here from Nico Ali Walsh. This is the same punch that he's been getting hit with since the beginning of his career, and he still hasn't tightened it up just yet. And I can tell you this, if Rosenberger had a little bit more pop on his shots, it's a possibility that Ali Walsh wouldn't be standing right now. I can tell you that.
CompuBox has him landing 7 of those. Overall total punches, Nico has a 44-14 edge. Bernardo.
With K. Karoma, he says, I want Nico to stop headhunting. His shots got to be straighter, and he's got to stop the exit to the left from Rosenberg. Step to his right and catch him with straight shots, not so wide.
If you exit to the left, you're going to be in the path of that right hand as Ali Walsh closes the gap with a combination, then Rosenberger ties up.
I'm going to take a point.
You got to understand that every time your hands leave your face, there's an opening. There's an opening. If you don't move your head or you don't bring your hand back quick enough or you throw a punch from the wrong range, which Ali Walsh is doing, that's the reason why Rosenberger's having so much success with that right hand. My gosh, you're going to get hit over and over and over.
Good raking right hand to the body from Rosenberger.
Break. Let him out. Step back. Get that arm down. Let's go, Bucks.
Rosenberger pretty slick in there. He's slippery. He knows how to operate. He comes from a fighting family. He understands the sweet science of the sport. Hit and not get hit. He's doing his best to avoid a lot of the punches thrown by Nico Ali Walsh.
His father was a pro back in the late 70s to early 90s, had 20 wins. His uncle was a pro in the late 70s. He's on a 7-fight win streak. It's Danny Rosenger from Youngstown, Ohio. Now you can hear his corner saying, there you go, attaboy with the jab work and the levels to it.
Yeah, but it's so predictable. And that's the reason why he keeps getting time, because he's doing the same thing over and over, shooting the jab, coming behind with the right hand. Occasionally he'll shoot the jab downstairs. There's really no change up in punches. He needs to throw some hooks. Jab, hook, right hand. Throw some uppercuts. Throw some hooks down to the body. Throw the right hand and dig down to the body. These are things that Nico Ali Walsh still has to learn.
Remember, our WBO Junior Bantamweight World Championship fight is coming up immediately. Round number 6 here of our feature with Nico Ali Walsh against Danny Rosenberger. Ali Walsh with a 52-25 connect advantage. You see that in 90 minutes, we will start the ESPN Plus pay-per-view of the much-anticipated undisputed lightweight championship of the world between Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. And on that portion of this evening, the ESPN Plus pay-per-view portion of this evening, we will see Oscar Valdez, the 2-division world champion, who last fought Shakur Stevenson, the great pound-for-pound Shakur Stevenson, right here in this ring, make his return. Valdez will be in a rematch against Adam Lopez. When they first fought, Valdez TKO'd Lopez, but Lopez fought great. In fact, he floored Valdez. So now they will have the rematch as our co-feature before Haney Lomachenko, as you see Oscar Valdez arriving with his team. And he is trained by Eddie Reynoso, the trainer of Canelo Alvarez. We understand Canelo is going to be in the locker room with Oscar tonight, so we will see Canelo a little later on the pay-per-view portion.
The reason it's a little bit harder for Nico Ali Walsh to show more creativity with his offense and do some of the things that we're looking for him to do is because of a lack of an amateur background. Fighters have fought from their formative years. There's just things that they instinctively pick up. Yes, they need to be reminded of those things in a professional prize fight, but they come a lot easier. He's just a little behind in that space. Hard worker, paying his dues, but that's why you don't always see that stuff readily applied.
And then, Dre, think about that. You say he doesn't have the amateur pedigree. He starts his pro career with an 0-3-2 record. Right? So there's no foundation to be built. Right. You got to learn on the job. You don't catch wins.
Straight right down the pipe from Rosenberger.
These are basic fundamentals, defensive moves that he has to do. These are basic. It has to be taught in the gym, and he has to do it. I don't know if it's been taught in the gym.
I think it's being taught. He just needs to take it and execute it.
Dre, it's some of the first fight I saw this man fight, he was getting hit with right hands, just same way he's getting hit with them now.
I've been in the gym, and I've heard the coach, and we've heard it even in the corner. We hear it. We know it's his team he's got over there and how K. Karoma coaches, so I think it's being taught. He's just got to take it and do what he's supposed to do.
I think he's just one-track minded. He's just looking for the knockout. That's it. That's the biggest problem right now. He's having a difficult time trying to track down Rosenberger because he's so slippery and elusive inside the ring. And Rosenberger is fighting when he wants to, on his own terms. He's using his feet to do that. Ooh!
Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, under 90 minutes away from the ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You can go to ESPNplus.com, go to the app, and just click the tile to purchase. We are in round number 7. New territory for Nico Ali Walsh. What did you make of the exchange you just had in the corner?
He's sitting there, he's arguing with the coach. He's saying that, hey, what you're telling me is not working. And they're saying, well, what we're telling you, you're not doing. So he said, I feel a little bit too tight, just hold my hands up. They said, well, you're walking forward, you got the high guard, but you're not throwing enough punches, Nico. And that's very true. He's not throwing enough at the target.
Nico's a very heady person. He's very pragmatic and literal with things, and you got to coach him accordingly. You got to remind him that you're fine. I just need you to keep working, believe in what the game plan and what we've worked on. It will work. Just keep believing.
And Tess, another reason why he continuously getting hit with the right hand is that he's heavy on his front foot. He's trying to put a lot of power in with his jab, and he gets stuck on his front foot.
Step back.
And he's there a split second too long, and the right hand has to give it the right hand time to come.
It compromises you defensively.
Yes, you can't do anything about it.
So first time past round number 6 for Nico Ali Walsh as he's up against a spirited Danny Rosenberger. I mean, think about a spot like this for Rosenberger. We understand what Nico Ali Walsh is, especially at this stage of development, and very much what he isn't. But for Danny Rosenberger, an opponent-type guy, a 13-9-4 record, to be fighting under the lights on national TV before a major pay-per-view.
Man, I respect guys like this.
Yes.
Like, everybody can't be the undefeated, all-time great. Like, I respect the guy that has a 9-to-5, a day job, blue-collar fighter that just does it for the love of it and is ready when his phone rings. And he's making the most of this opportunity tonight.
Yeah, mostly his phone rings for masonry work or chimney repair in Warren, Ohio, because that's his business.
True.
I asked him straight out in the fight arena. I said, man, you here for a check or you here to win? He said, man, I'm here to win.
Can be here for both.
This is a guy, remember he told us, he goes, listen, I'm
yeah,
carrying...
he can, but you know how
bricks.
I put it. You know how I put it, Dre.
The guy's carrying bricks and stones and buckets all day and then getting out of there in the afternoon to go train in boxing.
Look, when I shook his hand, he almost broke my dang hand. I'm not going to lie.
I've been
He's
so
strong.
grateful in my time to just focus. I couldn't do the 9-to-5 boxing thing. I respect those that do.
I did it. I did the 9-to-5, Dre. I was working in the restaurant.
Well, you the Desert Storm.
I didn't have it like you, man. I didn't win the gold medal, brother.
Right. You did mighty fine.
That's right.
Especially in this building right here. Victory over Manny Pacquiao.
Can I get a left hook downstairs, Nico, please?
Well, with 1 round to go, as he comes on strong here when he hears the clap at the end of round 7. Nearly a clash of heads. And look at Danny getting after it. In boxing, undisputed championship fight. Devin Haney is the youngest undisputed champion the sport has ever produced in the 4-belt era. He's now 24 years old, and this will be the 2nd defense of his belts, and he's doing it against a future Hall of Famer and the 3-division champion, Vasily Lomachenko. You can go to ESPN Plus and buy the pay-per-view. It starts at 10 o'clock Eastern. 8th and final round for Nico Ali Walsh, and again, Danny Rosenberger.
Need a big round here for Nico Ali Walsh. We don't know how these judges are judging this fight. They like the pressure that Nico's putting on, or they like the clean, effective punching from Rosenberger.
Let's hear what Bernardo's reporting from the corner of Ali Walsh.
I asked Hey Karoma, how do you see the fight? He says, look, it's a tight fight. His opponent's doing well because he's moving, but Nico needs to cut off the ring and stop loading up. Throw short shots.
When you have that real estate, you should be on the inside. Now back out to range.
That's the elbow. Keep that elbow in.
Punch that's heavily favor Ali Walsh.
Right.
Rosenberger tried a little bolo punch right there. Didn't land, but I think Rosenberger's feeling good in there.
Let him out. Let him out.
He likes what he's done, and he's overperformed. He's done more than I think a lot of people, including Nico Ali Walsh, believed he would.
No doubt about it, Dre. And we've given him credit for that.
That's what footwork does. That's what footwork does. Deceiving. Makes it difficult for your opponent to land. Rosenberger showing that.
Final minute of the fight. Rosenberger continues to circle to the left and then through the right hand, falling in and clinching.
The last few rounds have been in the indication Rosenberger's going to go crazy in the last 20 seconds. He's going to try to finish strong.
Especially if Nico tries to step it up. But see that body shot right there that Nico just landed?
2 good shots.
It was a looping shot instead of a straight shot.
He's been much more successful to the body.
With the looping shot.
But he unlocked something and he went away from it.
Yes, he did. The one round where he found the body well was the 4th round. He landed 7 body shots in that round, according to CompuBox. And he had a lot of success in neutralizing the movement of Rosenberger. Here's the clap. They bring it to the bell here.
Here we go.
Wide swinging by Rosenberger. Right hand comes in. Nico tries to jab his way to a right hand, and they go to the bell. Then they touch him up. It was chippy for a moment.
I'm curious to see how the judges are going to have it tonight. I mean, how they going to set the tone for the main event tonight. He had to deal with Nico Ali Walsh. He had to deal with a moving target, a guy that was aware, a guy that knows boxing, understands the sweet science, hit and don't get hit. He was landing clean shots like this throughout the entirety of this fight. Nico Ali Walsh is putting the pressure on the back end, and when he went to the body, Dre, he had some success, but he went away from it, just like you said. And Rosenberger just kept building confidence, and probably won this fight.
Very close fight. CompuBox numbers favor Nico Ali Walsh, but as you guys noted, Rosenberger was having success both with his movement and especially with his right hand. Ali Walsh had a 75-54 advantage in total connects, but Rosenberger fought well, was spirited, standing right above us right now, all smiles, saying, hey, what'd you think?
He did his thing. He's happy to be here.
Let's hear what the judges have to say about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds here inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Lisa Giampa scores the bout 77-75. Dave Moretti scores the bout 77-75 in favor of Ali Walsh. Glenn Feldman scores the bout 76-76, declaring this draw a split draw.
A split draw, one favoring Rosenberger, one favoring Ali Walsh, and then Feldman, the veteran Glenn Feldman from Connecticut, goes 76-76. So the first draw in the career of Nico Ali Walsh.
They got to run that back. That's a good fight to run back. It was an entertaining fight. And for Rosenberg, even his draw,